welcome to the couch, and I'm sitting here with my awesome daughter.
Hey, I'm Kindra Moné.
I'm Marcia Bailey, and we are going to get it going. We are talking about dating.
Yes, today we're talking about dating relationships now versus then.
It's kind of awkward.
I mean, me and you have totally different dating experiences.
Yeah.
I am 26, I'll be 27 this summer, which is cool.
It's okay.
It's the oldest I've ever been, though, so, you know, it took a little time. And you got married at 21.
I got married at 20.
At 20?
I was 20.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was young.
Okay, but you had Chandler at 21.
Yeah, Chandler at 21.
I can't even comprehend me being the 21-year-old.
I can't comprehend.
You got me by the time you were my age, you were pregnant with your fourth child.
I was. Life happened at me, came at me
Came
fast.
at you quick.
Sure did.
So you have a very different dating history than me.
do.
So let's talk about it. Let the people know. Give them the tea.
Talking about this with my daughter is different. Okay, but okay.
Your first boyfriend.
My first boyfriend. Okay, my first boyfriend was when I was about 14 years old. Just turned 14. This is funny. How I met him, I went to go stay with a cousin, play cousin. My mother and her mother was really close. I stayed with her for about the summer, and she was older.
Okay.
And so I hung out with her, and I met this guy through her. And at the time when I met him, I was like, it was in summer, so I was 13.
Okay.
And I turned 14 in September. And so, you know, we talked, we rode bikes, and we hung out, and I thought it was really cool being the older girl, like pretend in my head. But school started, and we continued our conversation, and he asked me to, like, will you be my girlfriend? I'm like, okay. It was really different because I couldn't date. I was not allowed to date until 16, so I snuck in conversations with him, talking, could not talk. We had the house phone, the long cord, so I would
scheduling times to talk. And stuff.
And at night I would get the phone, tiptoe out the bedroom, close the door, and stretch that cord through the bedroom and to talk with him at night. But he got tired of just talking. We kissed one time, and that was just about it. He thought I had another boyfriend, and I was like, no.
No, I'm actually just not allowed to have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He was 17, so it just lasted. So it was simple, but that was like great. I thought it was amazing, just, you know.
Okay.
And then my other guy, short stint. This is funny.
You know, I haven't heard any of this. I haven't heard any of this.
Okay, wait. I always hung out with older people.
Okay.
It's just coming to me. Here I am, 14 years old. My friends were 17 and 18.
Okay.
You know, I never connected with people my age.
Running the streets in Newark, New Jersey.
With 17-year-olds. This is so weird. Okay, so we hung out with them. We play cards and stuff like that. And there was this other guy, and it was like, he likes you. And so I was like, okay, he's cute. And so I tried to talk to him, right? Wait a minute, I'm laughing here. I'm getting ready to cry. And so I kissed him.
You kissed him?
He kissed me. Wait. Look,
I think I might have heard this one.
He kissed me. You see, as you see, dating was we talk, and kissing was a big move. You understand?
Yeah.
It was like a major decision to have a kiss.
Yeah.
To exchange a kiss. So we like, he's like, I would like to kiss you. And I was like, okay, like maybe tomorrow, stuff like that.
Maybe tomorrow we could kiss.
Right now, right? Right? So, you have to keep in mind, I'm young and these kids are older. And so I was kind of also a little scared because I'm like, I'm out my league. I don't know what's going on here. But he kissed me. His breath stank so bad.
Oh, my God.
No lie.
Oh, my God.
After he kissed me, I said, ooh.
You gagged?
I gagged in his face. I kept gagging. And so I was like, okay, this is like epic failure. Maybe this whole thing is not working for me. So my next...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, the next time, it's like, I met another guy. Everything is like, hey, how you doing? Can I get your number? I'll think about it.
So after that, you were a little...
Yeah.
More distant, because what you told me when I was your age, I was just focused on sports. I was just running track. I wasn't doing nothing else.
Okay, wait a minute.
Love
That's
that
true.
She's sneaking and
Wait a
kissing
minute.
boys.
That's true too. I was focused. I got really focused my later years.
Okay.
I mean, see, I am 14. And so and it really, right after that guy, I met another guy, and I really liked him.
Okay.
But my mother wouldn't hear of it at all.
Okay.
And so, because he was just like who's his people? Everything was who is in dating, not just like, we're not thinking about getting married.
Right.
Who are his parents? What school does he go to? What kind of grades he get to even qualify as a boyfriend?
Right.
So
let's bring that back.
You want to bring it back?
I mean, for the young girls, I feel
wait a minute.
now it's so easy to have access to people. So,
wait, let's talk about when you were a teenager.
I mean, I was a girlfriend shawty, honestly. Like, I was wifed up, and all throughout my teenage years, really. I think my first boyfriend was when I was. You knew this, though.
Wait a minute, no,
yes,
not all
did.
wiped up. What are you talking about?
You know this.
Okay,
I always told you about my boyfriends. My first boyfriend, I think my first boyfriend, boyfriend was 8th grade. So, I was in private school, and at Hammond, I really was like, I had another black girl that was at Hammond, and it was like, oh, do the boys not like us? And I was like, girl, it's just because we're black. I promise you. Like, it's probably even different now, but at that private school, even if one of the white boys liked you, he was not going to admit it. He wasn't going to ask you to prom or anything like that. So that's why I was on the northeast side, like hanging out with other people, because I was like, these boys, you're boy crazy at that age, and they were like not checking for me at the private school. So on the northeast side, I met the little boy. You remember him? You remember my first boyfriend? You remember Cameron? I'll say his name. You remember Cameron?
Okay, yeah, okay. But you weren't in 8th grade.
When I met him, I was in 8th grade. But then he was my freshman. But we had like a long love.
Oh my God.
We were in love. So we dated freshman year. Oh God. And then there was Justin. That was freshman year too. And then sophomore year of high school. And then, so yeah, I had those little play boyfriends. And then my junior year was when, I'm not going to say all these guys' names.
No, please don't.
You remember junior year? You remember
I remember.
You remember the pretty boy football player?
Yes.
So that was junior year.
Yes.
And then his dad was like, actually, I remember he was about to go to college. I think his dad was trying to break up with me for him. And I couldn't peep it. He was like, he's going to college, right? I was like, yeah. He was like, he's on the football team, right? I was like, yeah. He was like, there's going to be a whole new world there. I was like, yeah. He was like, okay, as long as you know. And I was like, okay, this one great. But I think he was kind of be like, he's going to leave you when he goes to school. But I mean, I think that like dating in school was one story, you know, and then dating in college, I had my college relationships. That was another story, because I feel like in college, the playing field is even. You know what I mean? Anyone you meet is potentially a candidate. You're like, oh, we're both in college. Oh, especially me, I think I always dated athletes because I'm an athlete. So it's like, oh, we're in college, we're athletes. Like, the options are limitless for both of our lives, where we live in this pseudo society and we're all right around the corner from each other. But once you leave college, that is when your adult dating is a thing. Totally different. So before I get into that, give me the snippet of you and Dad's.
I met him in college.
You were an alpha sweetheart.
He was an alpha. He was an alpha, and I just joined organization to be an alpha sweetheart, and he went to a different school, so he heard that the chapters were the same chapter. There was like 3 colleges but it's the same chapter. So he heard there was some alpha sweethearts on Seton Hall's campus, so he came
to check for y'all.
Yeah, he came to check, and him and another friend, and we met. That's a whole nother different story,
because you were talking to his friend.
Well,
and Dad pulled the scoop. Give the people the tea.
Well, this is how it went down. So, I met Dad, and he's like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, good. He said, I see you affiliate. He said, are you married? I'm like, married? What in the world? It was just a game, a little line. I'm like, no. He was like, you have a boyfriend? I was like, not really. At that time, I was focused on track.
Okay.
Focused on track. And as a result of that, I was not really thinking about guys. He said, well, since you're associated with Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, you're probably gonna meet your boyfriend and possibly your husband. I was like, okay, which is interesting.
Okay,
That's his
that's
first
one
line.
of the first things he said.
First things he said to me. Isn't that interesting?
Huh.
And so, but there was
This
some
little
other
preacher boy. But you didn't know that then,
I didn't
right?
know it either. Know that either. And so we were there talking with some other ladies, and he gave us a ride, me and a friend. And so, initially I thought he was interested in me, but he heard that my friend sang. We're still friends today.
Oh yeah, he always felt like his wife would be a singer.
Yeah, so he literally like switched like that.
Wow.
Interest changed.
Wow.
Literally, it was all on her at that moment. And so, kind of started talking to his friend. He kind of started talking to her. And he says this is not the case, but I'm so glad I get to tell my side of the story.
Speak your truth, sis.
Because he said I was hunting him down, trying to flirt with him, but they had like one phone on the dorm room floor.
Okay.
So, and I knew the campus was small, and there wasn't too many alphas on the campus. I always thought he would know where his fraternity brother would be.
Okay.
So I would call and say, hey, have you seen Lenny?
Okay.
And he's like, no, I ain't seen Lenny. I'm like, okay. He said, but tell him I called. But we would end up talking.
Okay. Wow.
And then I would call back and say, hey, is Lenny around? And he was like, no, So you're thinking, he's
You're
like,
calling for me.
Right, but I really was calling for him.
Okay.
And so through us talking, we started discovering that we were attracted to each other.
Okay.
So that's how we got together.
And y'all dated for 3 months.
About 6 months.
And then he proposed.
He proposed after 6 months because he knew I got to have her.
Okay. And then y'all were
engaged for
a while.
About 2 years.
Because you were a child.
Yes, I was a child.
Yes. So you were engaged for 2 years because you were 18.
Yeah, I was 18.
And
yeah.
you wanted to finish your track stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I got married at 20.
Do you think that it was easy for people during that time to say, you know what, I met you, I want to pursue this, like, let's do this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Granted, baby boomer, are you a baby boomer?
I'm cut off, literally. I'm like in between.
What's after that?
Generation, I forgot what's...
Generation, I don't know.
Yeah.
Y? X? Y?
X.
Generation X, okay.
Yeah.
So, do you think it was easier for you guys to meet someone and say, like, we like each other, we're going to be in a relationship, and then, like, let's get married? Granted, half of y'all got divorced, but that's another story.
That's true. That's true. That's another way to look at it. Because we did get married very young.
Yeah, y'all were just with it. And then I even, like, I talked to one of your cousins, and she's been married a couple of times, and she was like, well, I got married because I was a good Catholic girl, and we wanted to move in together, and that's what you do. Like, without thinking, like, is this a long-term partner?
Right.
Now, our generation...
We did not think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Y'all was like, we love each other now. Like, let's
just do it. We didn't think about, all the possibilities of life. But Dad and I did get married with the thought of commitment and forever.
Right.
And so that's one thing we thought about. We didn't think about it. We would not be together because life came at us hard and fast. Kids came and all that stuff is stress and it's pressure and all that kind of stuff. So we didn't think about any of that kind of stuff, but, we just went with our emotions, what we were feeling.
Yeah.
But we said, no, we're going to stay together.
I think that there's a good balance between that because I find that, like, my generation now, there's so many of us that can't go with what we're feeling. Like, it's just, everyone's too cool to like each other, like, more. Like, no one wants to be the one that likes too much or...
Do you think you're more concerned about stuff, other things, than...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially, like, okay, in New York, so me being 26 and single in New York is normal. Of course I'm single. If I told somebody else I was about to get married tomorrow, they'd be like, whoa, you sure?
Wow.
In the South, I'm like an old maid. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, all my siblings got married pretty young. And, like, the way that people will ask me, like, they'll look at the Christmas picture, for example, and be like, oh my God, everyone's all together. You're next. It's okay. Don't worry. Your time is coming. I'm like, who said I was worried?
Yeah.
Like, I'm good. I never said I was worried. But I feel like our generation now can be a bit jaded. But I do believe that God's timing is perfect. And I think that I've grown so much in the past, like, 3-4 years, and I truly do not believe that I would have been able to have the same level of growth in a relationship. And I see so many women that get married young and then they realize who they are about 26, 27, and they're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I don't I'm not taking this no more. We're not doing this
Right.
this way anymore. And,
Right.
But of course, you know, when you're with the right person, you go through that.
But yeah, you go through those things, and there's no guarantee in life that that you won't grow in marriage when you get married. Even though you're more mature at the age 27, 28,
Yeah.
29, you still will have experiences that will cause you to change and evolve. But
Yeah.
the thing about marriage is commitment.
Right.
And that you are committed to grow and change.
Yeah, with
With each other, and allow someone to become who they are. Of course, yeah, when I got married at 20, I didn't know who I was. And I do recommend people to know who they are. I had no idea who I was, you know, and then I took on the personality of mom. Then I took on the personality of wife, and before I even knew my own personality,
Right.
you know, and so that was an evolution. That was a becoming, you know, and so by the time I got like 26, 27, I was like, oh, wait a minute, you know, I like this. This is who I am, but because of commitment. Okay,
Right.
Dad didn't say, look, I'm tapping out. This is too much. You're changing on me. He just, you know, he weathered it with me. He grew with me. He opened himself up to get to know the evolving and changing me. And that's what's supposed to happen in a
You're
relationship.
supposed to like say, okay, who are you this year? Who
Right.
are you
Right,
year
'cause
10? Let's get to
women,
know each other now.
We change,
Right.
you know. We evolve and we grow. So the whole thing, I think, with your generation, you want everything to be fixed and permanent, far as a person.
Yeah,
But
and it's
life-
like, you're not the person I married. Like, of course not. They're a little different, but like that's okay.
Right.
You know, to a certain extent.
Right.
People aren't willing to go through some of the changes. But millennials have made the divorce rate drop because people are thinking about
They're not getting
more-
married.
Yeah. And well, and I think they also realize that you don't have to get married. Like, you don't have to get everybody is look, I believe I'm called to marriage.
Okay.
Everybody isn't called to marriage. And that you don't have to get married just because you've been with someone for 2 years. Like, it doesn't mean marriage is not a benchmark of, oh, we've been together this long, so now we should get married. Married is, oh, we are two individuals that believe that our lives are
Right.
tied together. But it's a decision. It's not a accomplishment.
Wait. Two individuals that believe they want to tie their lives together,
Yes.
not tied together. It's like, I see you and I see, and this is me, and coming together we'll make a great team.
Right. And I think that your purposes need to be aligned. You need to feel like, I'm a part of this person's purpose. They are a part of my purpose. And that is why I have broken up with people. Because I'm like, you know, I've been in relationships with people that it's like, okay, this is a good relationship. But when I look at like my purpose and my destiny, and I'm like, does this person align with my purpose? Like, do I align with their purpose? Like, do I
Right.
feel like God has called me to be a help to this person? Has this person been called to be a help to me? And like, people are like, oh, well, you know, if you had done this, like, you could have been married by now. I'm like, sure. But I was listening to a sermon online, and he said that marriage can be miraculous, it can be mediocre, or it can be miserable. And I don't want the mediocre, and I don't want the miserable, and I'm willing to wait a little bit longer.
Check this out. That's true. Marriage is a miraculous thing.
I mean, I know it doesn't feel miraculous every day.
Oh, yeah, two people come together and becoming one. That's miraculous. And there's times in marriage that you may feel miserable. You know, because of things happen.
Right.
You know, and then what was the other one?
Mediocre.
And there's times in marriage that it's just like, man, this is humdrum. But you got to remember that at one point there was a miracle.
Right.
They're coming together. That's commitment.
Yeah.
See, that's the whole thing with the difference of generations. It's like we expected, you know, I think your generation, you know.
I'm like, where are my fireworks?
Yeah, but they have.
I want fireworks every day.
But you get the match and you make your firework pop off.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's things you do. But it's not every day.
Yeah.
You know, and so sometimes it's not still frame. You can't take a picture and your marriage would be like this. But it's a movie. You know, and it will have frames, all different frames, but the beauty of it, that you can look back and say, man, you know, the good outweighs all the bad.
Right.
But you realize this person is he's yours, or you're his, and you know, and that you see that I am better with him, even though at this moment we're really having a really hard time.
Right. And I don't think I would have been I don't think I was at the maturity level to do that in the past. I think probably for the first time in my life now that I am like, actually, well, I feel like I'm in my single season because we talked about this. I feel like there's some things that God has called me to do in this single season. But I do also feel like that I am now ready to actually come out of that and like be good to someone. One of the things, I told you I had a realization, right? One of the things I realized is that I always liked our age difference. Like, I'm like, I love that my parents are young. Like, people, you know, I think it's so cool because now we can like, we go on vacation, it's like everybody's adults, you know, and you're not an elderly woman, and it's cool.
And like tired, want to stay home, right?
You know, but now I realize that like, you know, my 27th birthday is coming up. You were 27 when you had me, and now I realize that like, I'm going to be an older mom than my mom was to me.
Yeah.
It's okay,
It's
but
okay,
it's
though.
like a weird realization that I've had. I'm like, okay.
How do you feel about that?
I have mixed feelings about it, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I do have mixed feelings about it. Because I feel like I'm going to be a bomb mom one day, you know? But I mean, in order to do that, I need to be here and whole and all of that stuff. But it is kind of weird. I'm like, okay, I'll be a little bit older.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
that's
we were less complicated than y'all too with dating. Because we were young and we just kind of like, we'll take life and grow with life and experience life.
Nowadays, people like, I need to see 6 figures in my account before I can ever get married. And people feel like they have to have this and that. And they have to have this big wedding.
Yeah, but the beauty of being married is building a life together.
Right.
And not having a life already.
That's
it's
cute.
You know,
yeah, y'all just started off your little scraggly apartment.
We did, with one couch that wasn't even ours. I think we had, I'm like, gosh, we had no furniture. We didn't think about it. See, that's the thing. We were just so in the moment.
Right.
You know, we didn't think about it. And, you know, and of course we got our first couch. It was like one couch, but it came out of the basement of the apartment building. And the super gave it to us. I mean, literally, there's like a Cosby show. There's a couch that someone gave me. I said, "Is that our couch?"
Oh wow!
You know, is that our couch? That literally had like a hole in the middle. But we was like, great. We just celebrate. We had a card table initially as our table to eat. You know, we didn't think about what we usually. We just didn't think about it. We didn't have
all of those things weren't a prerequisite to being in a relationship.
It wasn't, and we didn't. And we didn't think it defined us.
But you know why?
You know why?
Because can I get some R&B boys singing about love? You know what I mean? That I swear, I think the music is affecting. People don't want to be soft. People don't want to admit that they love you.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that people are just too hard and too jaded. And
you keep using that word, jaded.
You're jaded. You're jaded. Like I tweeted the other day. Tyler was like, "Don't be that way." I was like, "Next person who asks my number, I'm gonna be like, why? Why? You wanna waste my time? You know, is that why?
Why is your generation so jaded?
Because, and then the longer you wait, the more baggage you have. And people, if you don't unpack your baggage, you're gonna see everything through the lens of those bad relationships. And then dating as an adult is one thing, and then dating as an adult with Christian standards is a whole nother thing. And it's like, I'm not gonna say it's slim pickings because like I do have nice men that I've talked to or that approach me. I'm not gonna say I don't get approached by nice men because that's not true. But I mean, it's gonna take a special man for the situation, you know. It's a situation.
What's the situation?
Y'all and my personality and me, like the moment I see someone wants to dim my light, the moment I feel like someone is too enamored by you and dad and your family and everything like that, X. If he has a privilege complex and is like, you know, X. You know, there's a lot of things that like if I was a little bit less ambitious, if I, you know what's crazy? People are intimidated by the fact that I have a good dad. Dang, you got a dad in your life? Dang, can't compete with that. I'm like, why? It's so sad that that's special.
Oh, that's so sad.
You know, and having older brothers, it's a special, but you know, there's a special man that's for it.
There is a special man out there for it.
But it is
and we'll be nice to him when he shows up.
I believe that.
We promise that.
But it is definitely different between now and then, and I think that your generation is kind of like, why are y'all doing this? Why are y'all doing that? Things are different. Things are different.
Yeah.
And
I think also, like you said, one thing that you said, you know, you met guys, but then you discover your generation that does this person line up with my purpose or they don't line up with my purpose. I think you need to go into meeting guys as being a consideration as an individual that you will talk to through the lens of purpose.
And that is how I see it now.
Okay.
Fully. I got into a lot of situations because like if you don't know where you're going, then you can go anywhere. You know what I mean? If you don't already have a decision about this is what I want for my life, this is what lines up for my life. And I think for so long I kind of was just like, I honestly think that me being with my like high school ex for so long, in between all of my other relationships and stuff like that. Sorry, any other exes if you watch this. But I think that was all I had ever.
Your high school ex.
Yes. So I think that because of that, I never really thought, okay, what do I want? And I never really had that set out. And so I would meet someone and we like each other and I get into this. And now I'm 8 months down the road and I'm like, oh, wait, is this what I want? Versus now I feel like I look at things like, okay, I know what I want. I know what God has for me. I've had some confirmation on some things about my life. And so now I look at it from the beginning through that lens. And they say it may not be all that, but it is all that.
It needs to be. And maybe you have to get to that point to realize, I think at a certain ages you can okay, I like this
I ain't
guy.
going with the flow no more.
Right, but when you're in your 20s,
yeah,
you need to think.
I'm grown.
Yeah, you need to start thinking about, okay, who's this person, where they're going, does it meet up and match up or gel with where I'm going?
Right, and do we value the same things?
Right, so sometimes maybe, in this whole dating thing that your generation is experiencing is the fact that you haven't caught up to the fact that in alignment with your purpose and destiny and who you are in dating, do you departmentalize your life?
I used to.
Yeah.
I used to, and which is why I think I was able to be in some of the situations I was in but now I realize it's not like that. Now I realize the wholeness of who I am, and it's got to be together on all parts for that.
Yeah, so to go into any type of relationship of that's substantial, you need to go into it with knowing who you are.
And leading with your standards.
Leading with your standards.
My last relationship, things ended because I realized that God was in the center of our relationship and that he didn't have a strong relationship with God. But I wrote that in my journal about him day one. Day one. I was like,
okay,
I met a great man, but
so what?
He's not.
Let's talk about that.
Because I wasn't leading with my standards.
Why?
Because you can't lead with your standards for someone else when you're not even leading with them in your own life all the way. Oh, that's the word. And so I think until I was at the place where I was fully committed to living out loud who I am, then I couldn't get that from someone else. We always reflect what we are, we attract what we are. So
yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Because always ask you.
Are you about to shake me?
Always ask you to, you cannot deny. That's what
I am. I can't run away. I'm on the couch. I'm clearly not running anymore.
I know. I've always had that conversation with you. So you can see when we are for whatever reason, afraid of facing our truth. If looking in that mirror, embracing everything that we are, it can cause us to go in circles.
Yeah.
And have experiences that are just
that's a whole nother episode.
Oh,
that's a whole nother episode.
We're
going to have to make a part 2.
Okay.
We're going to have to make a part 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. This is good.
Okay, so that is our story. You okay?
Yes, I am.
So that is our dating history and our where we are now with dating. 2 very different places. We may do a part 2. Mm-hmm. But if there's anything that you would like to hear us talk about, email us at asktthecouch@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. You can email your personal questions, or you can email a topic that you'd like to hear us talk about on the couch. Yeah. And subscribe, share, and tell us what you think in the comments.
Right. Check us out on YouTube, The Couch. And also, if you want to see some other episodes and different things, check us out at Right Direction TV.
If you're following through me, you should know that this woman right here, awesome woman of God, tons of messages on tons of topics. And you can subscribe to Right Direction TV to see all of those. See you next time.
Thank you for joining in
on The Couch.